Good evening. This is the Elliott Wave Daily Update for the Nasdaq 100 and the S&P 500 for Monday, October 21st, 2024. I tell you, the Nasdaq just really continues to get pretty weird to me anyway. And a lot of it, you can credit it to many different things, but primarily today within the Nasdaq, we had some fairly solid moves back into AI, particularly NVIDIA and Apple and AMD. There were other participants, of course, but for the most part, those are the ones that controlled a lot of today for the NASDAQ. And this is against the backdrop of the Dow dropping 344, of the S&P closing down 7. I mean, that's after being down quite a bit more, and the Russell actually closing down 35. So while those markets were heading lower, the Nasdaq just insisted on heading higher and then just slam dunked itself down. And so a lot of just strange moves actually going on. Now, a lot of them kind of fit in different aspects. Particularly, I want to just mention again that I think what a lot is happening via the options. Now, if you're just a straight futures trader, like the futures market, what's happening in the options may or may not have an interest to you, but it's the levels. So not necessarily every trade, but it's the levels. And when you can match that together, you do get a little bit of a picture to help determine what's going on in terms of the market. There, get it out of there. So in terms of how the market is moving, that's really what I mean. So basically, let's kind of jump in. So I know it's going to appear that I'm being a little bit wishy-washy here, but I have kept, the fact that the minor wave 5 is forming a diagonal. And while I moved it out over the weekend because of what I was seeing in the cash markets, here in the NASDAQ, cash market's still the cash market, but the futures market, I've shifted back, and they're both actually going to be in the same thing, back to a diagonal triangle. As because of where we are, because of all of just the mess that I think the market is creating here in terms of it is 5 down, but is it 5 or is it ABC and what follows afterwards? So it's presenting a lot of conflict in terms of what could the pattern be? What's the structure? So going back to this lets me put the 3 there and gives me the overlap that I have with wave 1. Otherwise, we're looking for the levels. You saw how many levels I was adding if we were going to continue to push higher. Cleaning all that up and leaving this now into a minute wave 4 still leaves the fact that we could get up there, but I can clean out a lot and see the potential for the minor fifth wave to actually get itself up to that new high. When it's all cluttered and I've got too far to go, I guess, it begins to just get to be like, well, I don't think the market can get up there. And which is why I got to bring back another call, the alternate, which is it's a minor, still in minor 4. If I had to kind of force it, yes, that could still be, and I wouldn't be forcing it, but that would mean that we start from here. But to walk in today and see that the interest is now shifted and Apple was up strongly, and again, I'm not going over that list, but there were a lot of components that were moving in the right direction. And if everything shifts one more time and it's more everybody together, then there's a very strong possibility, but it might happen in a fifth wave. So in other words, it's like I said, having to need a 4 and a 5 within the minute 3, and then another minute 4, and then the minute wave 5. That to me gets a little bit like too many steps to get up to a level that should coincide with the ultimate goal. So back to the diagonal. Now, in the 4-hour, we can see there's the minor 4. So here's minute wave 1, minute wave 2. I did switch it around. I put it back to ABC. I stuck the 3 right there. And that would have been last week. So it's the high from the 14th. So from there, I think we're still inside this. Now, let me go down to that hourly chart because it was bizarre. So here we are coming in. We're like, and then all of a sudden we started to rally. And they rallied it. And then we went and we opened and we really rallied hard. And then we rallied all the way up 20,556. And it's like somebody went and pulled the plug. And there was like no air, no power, no anything. So it's like if you got one of those little flappy things that you see by the used car lot and it takes air and it's waving it or whatever. And then when the air stops, it just collapses. Well, that's pretty much what the market did. Came all the way back down and went and made a flat. Now, if I open this up a little bit, if I'm going to label this wave A of the four, and that is A of B, B of B, C of B, or C of B is still in progress, this gets really weird. So not the move was actually very tradable. And if you could catch it and just kind of get over like, well, what is it and overall and just trade this, both of these, they were very tradable. Strange in how it all came about, strange in how it actually worked its way higher. But once they started to whack it, to bring it down, it all just kind of came down. So that part was all just one big fat move. And then the rally back was just pretty much as strong. So figuring it out. I'm going to go with ABC down to here. I'm going to call it an A. It could also be the 4, but I'm going to call it an A because this one's a little bit tough to say it's 5 up. Could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But look at that little tiny 3 compared to the 1. So I prefer to keep it as an ABC or 3-wave. And this is A, and here we have A of B, B of B, kind of a little bit of a failure there. And then we get an A, B, and we're coming back up, or 1, 2, and we're coming back up in a 3 of C. And we'll finish the B wave, likely with a move back above 20,500. Come back down again, maybe to here, to finish the 4th wave of my minute degree. Now, other side of that story, we're once again going to form another diagonal going up. And it's again, it would be in a 5th wave because I'd have to consider this minute wave 4 got close. This is the 0.236. And so it got close. And this will go away. Come on. Go away. Thank you. Come on. There you go. Yeah, somehow they changed how notifications come in and they just kind of appear. So any case, 20,171 would be 0.236 for this minute wave 4. 382, 19,865. I actually don't think it'll go that far. The market is well supported. And again, we get closer and closer. Next week, as I discussed, I mean, we have Tesla on Wednesday, but next week it really gets busy. We got Apple, we got AMAT, we got AMD, we got everybody reports, I believe. Quite a few of the bigger companies report next week, and by Apple on Halloween. So it can be pretty interesting. And that's where I think we can get that thrust up and out of all of this. And not the up and out of the triangle, but I think it will can break the upper boundary. And we got seriously these by taking all that off. Once I get a 4, a solid 4, I can put those levels in, depending if it's here or if it's going to come in again here or even a little bit lower. So once I have that, then I'll put the the minute wave 1 to minute wave 4. So in other words, to produce what we believe that minute wave 5 can do. I can bring it out here, and just because here, minute wave 1 was huge. So even if, let's just say, I want to do that differently, and I want this one. Just as an example of what could, let's just put this for, I'm going to put it existing. So here we have, and then just to put our colors in correctly, we have 618 at 21,852. So yeah, because of this, but I think what will become more important is exactly the structure of it, because I'm looking for an ABC, and basically this is producing a slight failure. Anything above that, then it is actually done. It could be done all the way up to that minor degree. So what I'm hoping is we're that close. And it really could take us next week and get it all done. And then we finish intermediate wave 3. So in other words, what this whole thing is like, we're finishing minor 5, and in turn, intermediate wave 3, getting ready to begin an intermediate 4th wave, slide back lower. This all in advance of another quick turn. So one more time, we're finishing up to the intermediate wave 3. We can really do an expansion, which is why I took it out of the diagonal, but then it fits better in the diagonal, and that kind of puts it, it actually caps a lot of things. So it's going to get interesting. And because again, the seasonality charts continue to show that we should have a great November. And we're going to find out because it starts at the end of next week. So right now, I'm leaving it as such. I'm leaving this as we're involved in a minute wave 4. That's going to come down, and it needs to finish up. And there's the inside of it. So there's this 3 goes there, and we're looking for the 4. We have room to come back down, but it doesn't look like they're really interested in doing that right now. You can see they're just continuing to walk it up and walk it up and walk it up and walk it up. So it's kind of the end of the day, that extra hour. So we shall see. Over in the S&P. The S&P, going to bring it out also to that 4-hour chart. Kind of look at this one. Now this one is so much cleaner, even in its current state, but I did make an adjustment within this minute 3rd wave, primarily because even under fibs, minute wave 3 would be equal to minute wave 1 at 59.95. I don't want minute wave 3 here would fail, and therefore wave 1 would be longer than 3, and that puts a lot of pressure on 5, considering that I think 5 could get up above 6,000. So in any case, I readjusted, pulling wave 1 up. It is clean. There's no breaks. It does fit. And then wave 2. And then I have put in wave 3. Now, at the moment, wave 3 is 203 points. Wave 1 is 379. If I go by my calculations from here as to where wave 5 could get to, right? Is what I'm looking for. Wave 5 could get here, then it would be the shortest wave. I'm out on a limb with this count. I understand. But it's what I feel is kind of best right now, and it reflects what the market is doing. So minor wave 4 still in place where it should be. Minute 1, 2, waiting for 3. The breakdown in between, that's where I made the change. 1 is a very long wave, then 2, then 3. And right. Actually, that is wrong. I apologize because I'm going to change that. It's going to give wave 1 way more, as it should. And I think, yeah, I'm going to, and then activate this over to here. I believe so. Anyway, either or there. Same type of areas where we got. So the pullback coming out of this and bringing it down to the hourly chart, the pullback has already reached 236. So I could put a 4 there. I'm not looking for a big move. Maybe back to this level, which would just equal the previous, and that's at 58.50. So if we're going to come down one more time, well, right now you're going to see it's going to be a 50-point drop. But look at it did today, 59.09 to 58.68. So it did do it. Did a 40. So, yep, maybe you can do it again or anywhere in between if it is necessary, because this gets weird because we come down nicely. We rallied and then killed it and then rallied back. So it is difficult because the market's a little wild. And I will share with you that here, I do feel a lot of it was because in the Qs and the spider, we saw the volatility trigger get triggered to the downside and then watch it come back and retake it several times. And that just keeps it very interesting. And not that I question the models at all, but what I have noticed is that even with the Nasdaq, and I remembered that I wanted to show that chart, I actually am using the Qs just to add to this, and I'll go over that tomorrow. In the meantime, I think that what we got going on here should still bring us, let me go back out to the hourly, should still bring us to at least 59.99 to finish my new wave 3. And then we do a quick 4, and then we do a 5. That's going to be opposite of what the Nasdaq is. Actually, yeah, what the Nasdaq is doing. So anyway, that's about it. It's not been easy, but we're going to leave it like that. And here we are in the 4-hour. I'll open it up so I can just fill it all in. And it's 1, 2, looking for 3 to finish up here, maybe even a little bit above. So 1, 2, 3, putting the 4 in and then moving up. And it could actually be in. That little tiny move could be the 4. All right, so I'm not going to do that because it's just going to flip out on me. All right, so the next update. Oh, let me just double check because if we got coming out tomorrow in economic data. Philadelphia, nothing. Tuesday, nothing but one. The Philadelphia Fed president will be speaking. All right. Next update will be on Tuesday, October the 22nd.